the chipmunks and Laura Philippi are here. Cool. So, perfect time to watch a video from Russ. Sitting here playing in the dirt. Yeah, it's perfect. I'm going to be doing some of that too during this live stream. Going to be working with some rubber duckies. So, if everyone can confirm that you hear me now. Also hear me now. This is a microphone check. Testing microphone 1 2 3. How does it sound? How are we doing? How does it sound? What do you think? There's a little bit of a lag, so I'm not sure if anybody hears me. AV is good. Laura Taylor, thank you. Hopefully the AV has remained good. Yotaro can confirm that it's doing well as well, that the audio is okay. So, good. M Flater as well. There's Chet. So now I'm going to start putting some... This is going to be my blonde ducky bin in the sense of the rubber duckies that have a lighter color. And I have a kind of an explosion of little wee rubber duckies in here lately. There has been quite a few of them. But I'm trying to separate because I have some really nice dark duckies. Like here's a nice dark ducky right here. If I can focus on it. And I want to maintain the dark duckies. A lot of these come from Chet. He had a lot of really nice dark duckies. And my older culture, I mean there's tons of them in here. The babies are everywhere. Let me show you really quick what I'm talking about. Maybe you can see a little bit. You won't be able to see all of them, but there's a ton of babies down in the substrate, like everywhere, all over the place. There are loads of babies in the ducky bin, but I want to separate the lights out so we have the blonde duckies and the nice dark ones. Personally, I like the dark ones a lot. I mean, I like all isopods, but you know, the dark ones are the wild types, so to speak, that we're looking for. That's the trait trying to preserve. So, working on that. I see that in addition to Yotaro and Laura Taylor and Therapod Hunter joining us, Chet's joining us, and Melanie is joining us as well. Great. So it's good to see you all here. I'm just trying to determine... That one's a pretty good dark one. We'll leave that one in here. Anthracite Exotics is here. Oh, what did I just do? I don't even know how I did that. I just took a screenshot or something by accident. It's not what I meant to do. So weird. Like Spike as you join. Yes, we've got 12 people here so far, and you can start to get an idea. There's a lot of little duckies here. A lot of little duckies. And I'm trying to fish through here. When they're really young, it's hard to tell if they're light or dark, and that's fine. As they get older, I can go through this again, but I'm trying to aim for... See, there's some lighter ones on this rock. That one's fairly light there. That one I can't really tell because it's kind of buried. So, Therapod Hunter, Dryadillo species Starsky. I don't know that I know which one that is. Oh, I dropped it. But it's okay, though. See a lot of springtails, Rebecca says. Crawling on your substrate. I don't see that many crawling around mine. Should I be worried? Not necessarily. It depends on a lot of factors. One of those factors is how new is your culture. That one's like moderately dark. I think I'll keep that one in here. How new your culture is and various other factors can play into that. It's a good sign if you see a decent number of springtails, and if you don't see springtails, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you might, if it's a sharp decrease from how many springtails, oh, there's one molting right there, from how many you did have, and now you notice this sharp decline in the population, you might want to consider changing out the substrate, or part of the substrate, probably not all of it. I'm going to very carefully put that down. I don't want to disturb that molting one. Let's see. Let's look at these two and see what we're looking at. Those are fairly light, on the lightish side, maybe halfway between light and dark. I don't know, I'm thinking about that. That one's fairly dark. I don't know, it might darken up with time too. Just trying to check it out. I want to put, I don't know. Sometimes it can be hard unless you're comparing the two. Okay, divided them into 2 new enclosures about 2 weeks ago. Then I wouldn't worry a whole lot, Rebecca. I would wait and see. You just might need a little more time. See, there's a super dark ducky right there. That's what I'm looking for. And there's a fairly light little one. I don't think I can fish that one out. Well, maybe I can. Yeah. Of course, when they're little, they stay lighter. They are lighter until they get older. There's a nice dark one too. Probably some of that stock from Chet. He sent some really good ones. Well, now most of them are kind of hiding, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do what I thought I was going to be able to do. I just saw a whole bunch of these. I don't know if you saw my Instagram post, but there were loads of them. And I think, yeah, I would count these along the lighter side. I'm going to put these probably, well, let's see. How's this one? That one's kind of light too. I'll put that in there. Don't want to dig about too much because that can be problematic for them. That one's nice and dark, I think. I'll leave that one in here. This doesn't exactly make for scintillating viewing, does it? So might have to switch this out. This was one of the things I wanted to work on, but it's only one of the things I could potentially work on. So since it is not proving to be super exciting, I'm having trouble spotting a lot of them. There's one turned upside down. I hope it's okay. It doesn't look... That one looks like it has passed on. That one looks like a defunct ducky. It is no longer alive. That is sad. I see that, let's see. Michael Nichols from Louisiana is here. Welcome. Timoon Pendek is here. Who loves collecting isopods in nature? I think it's pretty fun. I like to collect isopods in nature when I have the occasion. It is, I have collected a few different types. The types, like the Sonoran Desert Porcelia laevis that I have came from Arizona, the state just below where I live, and that was fun to collect those. I collected maybe a dozen or so, and now I have far more than that, so that was fun. A fun thing to do. I enjoyed that. Let's see. Got a question from Melanie. When you separate your isopod colonies based on colors they display, how long does it take before you can say you have a specific morph? Hey, that you won't get the original color anymore. That depends, but I would say you really want them breeding true before you can say you have a different morph. So I would want to say you're a couple generations in to when you, after you've separated them, they're a couple generations in and they're producing what you want them to produce. Then I would say you're okay. At least a couple of generations in. Smuggles your spiders back from California. Whoa. Theropod hunter collected centipedes from the wild. 3 cm is the largest in the UK though. Which species do you have? That sounds like maybe Lithobius forficatus. Could be, anyway. All right, so I'm going to move some stuff around just a second. Speaking of centipedes, centipede warning. If you don't like centipedes, we're just going to look at one fairly small one, but definitely larger than 3 centimeters. It's coming in. Just a second while I switch this stuff out here. What is this? alarm's going off. Just let me fix this here. Fix the lid. Get a good look at what's going on in the bin here. Not the bin. This is a tarantula cribs enclosure. I shall not insult it by calling it a bin, because a bin it is not. Never has been a bin. Let's see. So Tima's here. Great. Awesome. How was the adventure down at Clint's? I think I remember recently we chatted and you were on your way or just about to be on your way down there. I'm going to grab a cricket really quickly. Okay. I'm going to carefully put my microphone back on. Yeah, I wish I could have gone. I wish that had not coincided with these other family activities that were going on. So I didn't want to miss those either, but if we had just arranged it so timing were different. I mean, we couldn't arrange the timing, but that was beyond our control. But anyway, I'm glad you had a lot of fun. Laura Taylor, yeah, pumpkin works well for isopods. Just, make sure you're taking the normal steps one takes to avoid pesticide contamination. And freezing for later use, I don't see a problem. Joseph Tavir, welcome. Oh, you have, okay. Haplophilus or geophilus. Got it. I'm going to drop a cricket in here. This guy has been so hungry lately. Ooh, almost got it. Chasing it around. Woo! He's going to keep chasing too. Mflater74, thanks for joining in. Tima, you were the only one repping Animal Wonders. Okay. And they needed me in the trivia. Well, we had fun last time in the trivia, didn't we? Our team did pretty well. It was fun. We got to be on the same team. It was cool. Okay. I love that this centipede seems to be, has quite an appetite and has no fear. Some centipedes are like that. I've had others that are less like that. And they're just scared to death of food, actually, sometimes. So yeah, centipedes tend to be predatory with some omnivorous tendencies, and millipedes tend to be detritivores. That's an oversimplification, but that's basically how it works. There are some exceptions to that, and some are more opportunistic than others. 503 is here. Welcome. What is he chewing on? I don't actually know if it's a male or female, but he appears to be chewing on something, which is a little weird because the cricket is still kicking around. So Zarathustra was able to collect 5 species of isopods, got them into culture, found a few more, but not enough individuals to get them to reproduce. Hoping to find some rosy woodlouse. Found only one in my garden. Ooh, what's the scientific name of rosy woodlouse? I don't know if that's one we know around here or not. I'm just curious if that's one that's in the hobby. Okay, is it going to happen? Let's see. Cricket would rather go swimming, huh? All right. No, we're not going to. I don't want you hiding too much from this poor centipede, who appears to be quite hungry. The Theropod hunter scorpion scared of locusts. That makes sense. Oh, Androniscus dentager. Okay, I've heard of that species. Rosy woodlouse. I hadn't heard it called that. I'd heard the scientific name. But sometimes I ignore the common names, and I really should, to make sure I keep up on those. At least try to. Common names can be tricky and confusing. Okay, well, I'm going to take the water dish out temporarily, because that seems to be a complication here. Oh, Tobias is back. Awesome. Tobias sent me a message a while ago. apparently wasn't getting the notifications for the live streams. And it is true that due to sickness and various things going on, I wasn't quite as dependable with my live. Ooh. Definitely wants the cricket. Definitely wants the cricket. Let's see what we get here. I think it's going to happen. This one has been so hungry lately. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's fattening up for the winter or something. Magenta and orange. That sounds awesome, Theropod Hunter. Oh, okay. You're not getting the notifications, but you opened YouTube and there I was. Cool. Oh, you think it's going to happen now? On the trail. Whoa! Got it. Sorry that was kind of in the corner there. But it happened. Very, very... This centipede is very bold and does not want to miss out on snackages, which I like. The first centipede we ever had, same species, was very, very shy about food. Very, very shy about everything. We got some... we'd see some good takedowns once in a while, but in general, it would flee if something touched it instead of just automatically going for it, which is what this one does. So, I'm going to print out on this thing here. I'm going to print out Cubaris species rubber ducky, and I'm going to put blonde. I'm not a fan of that name because it's so confusing because there's that other blonde ducky, but I think that's referred to as Cubaris species blonde ducky, but that's too similar. You know what I'm saying? Too similar. So, all right. Sorry, that's a little bit difficult to see actually. In the corner there. I'm going to try to move it. Let's see if that helps. And then we can look at something else. Maybe we can check out 503 like this. And some of you other tarantula keepers out there, we can check out my newer female tarantula, the one that I exchanged my male for. I did hear back again from Alex. He's been giving me some updates at Tarantula Haven. Sorry, whoa, that was fun. I heard back from him that he has paired twice. So I feel happy about that. He had a chance to pair twice, and we'll see if we get, I mean, I won't get any of the babies, but see, hopefully Alex gets a lot of babies. That would be fantastic. I would love that. So we're going to take a look and see how she's doing. She molted recently. So that guy's just chewing away at that cricket. Yeah, I've seen social media posts with Alex from Animal Con, so it sounds like he's doing well. Very recent ones, I mean, like in the past day or two, so I think he's doing okay. Hopefully that continues to be the case. Okay, here we go. This is, I do have spiders. I have a couple of true spiders, and I have this tarantula right here. This is my 8-inch cube tarantula crayos with my one and only tarantula, my Dolichothele diamantinensis, or Brazilian blue dwarf beauty. She is doing well after her molt. You can see the molt here on the left, and here she is. She's started to web up right after I got her, very shortly after I got her. She started webbing. I mean, she webbed up a little bit, and then she went into pre-molt, and has been in pre-molt until, I don't know, how long has it been now? 2 weeks maybe, when she came out of molt. And so she has taken a little bit of food now and so on, but she hasn't, I don't think she's quite caught up yet. She's probably still pretty hungry. I wonder if we could feed her. Should we give it a shot? We can see if she'll take a, like I have some mealworms here and stuff. I got some crickets. We could try crickets, you know, what she thinks of the cricket. She had a cricket last time though. I guess it's fine. It's not a problem. I'm gonna grab a cricket. Just a second. I'm over here in my Bioactive cricket bin. I've been working on breeding. I mean, this is Bioactive with the house cricket. I did banded crickets for a good while, and bioactively, you know, and they work well. And so now I'm trying the banded crickets, the house crickets, the more common ones you find in the stores, to see how they do. I'm trying to get one that's large enough. Most of these are younger. That's a smaller one. Okay, so I'm going to try to drop one in there. She's been pretty hungry, but it's probably been a week or so. So let's see what we get. Let's see. Yeah, I really enjoy having a tarantula. I would totally have more if I could get away with it. I can't, but I would. Darn it. Sorry, I dropped my cricket. And I hurt my knee, so I can't exactly go after that one. That one's off to the races, I'm afraid. Everybody's going to love that. I'm going to have to get a new one. I got plenty in here, so it's not going to be a big deal. It's just going to take me a minute. There. Yeah, it's been interesting having a very, very sore knee. I've heard of the Eris species that produces a pink webbing, but I've never seen it. There it goes. It's running off. I have to keep an eye on it. So, Laura Taylor had a question about bioactive. Said when you say bioactive, is it planted? No, and bioactive can mean a lot of things. And one of the more strict definitions, of course, does mean that it is planted. And in this case, it is not planted. I'm just going to fill up a water dish now. It's getting a little low in there while I'm in here. Oh, it's got gunk in it. I'm going to take that out. So from the strictest definition of a planted environment, the cricket bin is not planted. The crickets would eat it. But when I say bioactive, I mean that there are microorganisms and microfauna in the substrate that are helping to break down waste. So it greatly reduces the need to change the substrate or to just dump out frass like you would have to do in just a dry bin. And they lay eggs directly in the substrate, and it seems to be working. For banded crickets, it works really well. I haven't determined if I can do the house cricket multi-generationally. I can with banded crickets. I've done it. Many, many generations of banded crickets can be produced there before you need to change the substrate. But as far as the house crickets, this is my first go at it. And so I produced a ton of crickets, and they're doing fine, but it's only been a month or so. And so there are lots of baby crickets, but it's their first generation that are born in the bin. So let's see. Oh, I have longer tongues. These are the ones I grabbed, but yeah, longer tongues are good. I just wasn't super concerned about her causing any issues, but where are my other tongues here? Got some, I have lots. But those are, oh, okay, yeah. These are better. I can use these. These are much better tongues and much longer tongues, so. Yeah, I don't think we can grow, I don't think we can grow crickets, plants in with crickets, house crickets anyway, at the densities that I want to produce them at. I should say that. There may be some species of crickets you could do in bioactive, maybe, I don't know, but these definitely not. Yes, I think a lot of leaf litter is beneficial for the crickets, and I like to put leaf litter in there. Whoa, she's not. She should have at least done something when that happened, I would think, if she's actually that hungry. Maybe she did fill up after all. I don't know. If she doesn't do anything in a minute after cricket crawls around, we'll try something else. But yeah, the house crickets, they've got a lot of hides in there, but I don't have a lot of leaf litter in there right now, but I have done a lot of leaf litter in the past. I think I need to add some more. I can actually just grab handfuls of recently sanitized leaf litter and toss some in. I could do that. It's not a bad idea. Well, darn, now I have to keep an eye out for that cricket and pull it out because she does not seem particularly interested. We could give her one more try, but she is moving though. She's moving a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. I guess we'll see. Still not used to navigating inside a tarantula enclosure, really. It's all new to me still. I don't want to mess anything up. Don't hide under that stuff. Don't hide under the hidey stuff. Okay, got the cricket out. I don't think she's that interested. We give it one more try. Oh, that looks like interest. Oh, that is interest. Ha ha ha. Very cool. Everybody see that takedown? That was a pretty sweet deal. She was hungry, after all. Just took her a minute. She does have amazing color even through the webbing, huh? And now that she's partway out of the webbing, try not to snap down the lid. Let's see if we can zoom in. Yeah, now you can see her color, and that cricket's still wiggling a little bit, but it's over for that cricket. Oh, Frank the Tank, congrats on finding the little baby morning gecko. You know, 503, I think that's the one downside, isn't it, to Dolichothele diamantinensis. They don't seem to be out as much as some others. I love the fact that they don't have verticating hairs. I love the fact that they're so gorgeous. I love the fact they don't get very big, because I'm not worried about specifically having a large tarantula. I just like the fact that they don't take up as much space, so I can fit them more easily, which is awesome. And I think, yeah, the fact that they're not out all that much is just, that's the sad thing. And I think I'm seeing her more now that she's, well, it makes sense. She's done with molting, the molting process, pre-molt and the molting process for this time around. So I do see her more. And she kind of hangs around out here, and I usually see her through this thin layer of webbing here, which I'm sure she's going to add to and make it thicker. Yeah, so I'll see whether or not this one tends to be shy or not. So we'll see. I have never picked up this tarantula. I've done rehousings a couple times. Not with, well, I've only rehoused this one once when I first got it from Alex. The other one I had rehoused, let's see, came in a little enclosure, had molted in that enclosure, and then once it hardened up and whatnot, I can't remember if I had it molt one more time and then moved it up or not, but then I moved it to, so I rehoused it twice essentially. But I've never held it. I have held other tarantulas, I've never held my own. Tarantulas are more hermits than hermit crabs. Okay, well now she's sitting pretty still, so maybe we should move on to something else. Anybody got a request or something? If I can easily do it, I will try to do it. Well, feasibly do it, I guess I should say. I'm going to scoot her out of the way, gently remove this enclosure. She looks like she's fine and happy to eat, so I'm going to put her back where she goes. I want to show you something. I want to show you who molted recently, okay? This should be cool. I had a molt probably a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, something like that. My male Damon diadema. That's coming out really overexposed, isn't it? Sorry about that. Oh, that's a little better there. Nice molt, huh? Came out pretty good. Okay. Let's see. So there's a request for Stanley. I'm sad about Stanley because Stanley passed away, and not because of anything. It's just, they don't live all that long. He was over a year old when he passed away, and that's normal for flatties, but it was sad. That was one of my favorite spiders. So that was sad. Okay, well, we could do some water bugs or some snakes or something like that for sure. Tima, that's funny. Escaped into your couch. She could be living in the luxury, and instead she decides to get to your couch. Oh, theropod hunter, sorry to hear about your fronti triangulatum. That's sad. But let me show you the good news, because losing Stanley was not good news. But this is my male Damon diadema. And this was his molt where his pedipalps got huge. So check it out. The pedipalps now extend beyond the first joint of walking legs. As you can see, he looks like a proper male. This amblypygids don't have a terminal molt, so he's not a mature male in the same way that a tarantula is a mature male, because it's not like a death sentence in an amblypygid when you're a mature male. But and also they can breed when they're younger than this. This is not, they don't have to have their pedipalps, dimorphic pedipalp, or they don't have to have dimorphic pedipalps to be ready to mate. He could have mated younger, but he is now looking pretty sweet. I am thinking of breeding soon. My female is a little bit smaller still. She's like one molt behind this guy, I think. Quite a bit smaller. When I got her, she was missing a couple of bits. She was missing part of one of her walking legs and part of one of her antenniform legs. And now, or maybe all of one of her antennified legs. And now she's got all of her walking legs all the way back, and her antenniform legs are both nice and long. One of them I think is a little bit shorter than the other, but not bad. So I am hoping to be breeding them soon. I have had them mate before and produce spermatothecae, which they drop on the substrate. Well, it's usually on the vertical substrate. They place them on the vertical substrate. And I had that happen before, but I've never actually gotten babies, so I'm hoping to get some babies soon. Showed my speech kids my vinegaroon and they freaked out. Ha! That's awesome. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that. I'm going to be prepping the breeding enclosure soon. It is a 12 by 12 by 12 Exoterra with cork bark along 3 sides, and I'm going to be actually remounting the cork bark because I've had it in there for a long time, but it needs to be redone. So I think I'm going to do it with some pond foam and really seal it in. So it works a little bit better, because it kind of is falling off the sides a little bit now. I haven't had him in there for a while. So Yotaro, your tailless whip scorpion molt the other day too. Fantastic. Oh no, Laura Taylor. Yeah. That's so sad with the springtails in the heat. Sorry about that. Yes, if I can breed them, I will be offering babies. And just like I do with my snakes, YouTube viewers get first crack at baby getting on the list for the babies. That's a good point, 503. I should check with Jessica from Marshall Arachnids. See if she would be willing to share any tips with me. Okay, definitely email me, Yotaro, for the list. I don't want to count my whipplings before they're hatched, so to speak, too much, but at the same time, no harm in getting on that list. It would be cool. I wonder if he's hungry. He wasn't the other day when I tried to feed him, but should we try? It's pretty fun to watch him eat. Put a cricket in there and see what he thinks. Just a second. Grab one. I haven't decided on the price range because I need to see what the fair market value is for them lately. I haven't purchased one in a long time. It's been a few years, so I just need to, check up on that and see what fair market value is for Damon diadema, which these appear to be the real Damon diadema, not medius, which is more common in the hobby. Okay, there's a cricket. I'm going to put a lid on so it doesn't get away. You're going to have to move your antenniform leg there, buddy, just a little bit. And let me... I need to be a little bit lower. Lower my camera just a touch so we can see the whole frame. See what's going on in the whole frame. Sorry, that was a little bit... Oh, this is tough to do with the sore knee, I'll tell you that. Tougher than I would hope, but I'll make it work. Oh, he's possibly, that could be interpreted as a sign of interest. It can be hard to tell sometimes. Let's see what he does. Ooh, I would call that inconclusive. Whether he was just bothered or actually interested in eating. So, oh, that's fun. That could indicate some interest, right? So yeah, Frank, I'll just look at and see what they're going for these days. Ooh, that was fun. I just loved seeing them extend their pedipalps like that. So 503, how big a cricket do you give them? I try to give them a cricket that is approximately the same size as their pronotum. And I think I'm pretty close on this one. It might be a little big. But that's the key with Damon diadema. They like to eat things that are right about the size of their pronotum. And I don't know if that's true for all other amblypygids. I don't have any other amblypygids. I never have. The only two species that I have kept, I have had 5 individuals of Damon diadema, including the 2 that I have now. And so I'm not sure if it's true for other species. I'm actually looking to get a couple more species. There's one I really want to get is the Carinus acosta, which is a very small species that reproduces exclusively through parthenogenesis, and they're communal. So that sounds fantastic. I would love to do that. I think still inconclusive, but he looks interested. So Yotaro, what did I do to my knee? I don't even know. I honestly don't know what happened. People ask me that, like, what did you do to your knee? And it was bugging me a little bit, and I thought, what happened? And it just kept getting worse. So I'm not sure, but I think I heard it somehow, didn't notice, and then I overdid things, and that made it worse. And so now it's got a brace, which helps me get around, but it hurts. Oh, Simply Betta's in the chat. Long time no see. Great to see you again here. That's awesome. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, turning down the lights can help. I've noticed if they're hungry, a lot of times I can get them to do it in bright light, and then it's more fun to see. It's more fun to film and stuff. But you're right. I think they tend to be less shy when it's more dim. Mujisu, welcome. Let's see. I don't know if he's going to eat it, and I'm not going to leave it in there too long, because usually if he's going to eat, it happens pretty fast. But I might leave it a little while longer before I do anything. One thing that I like to do in larger enclosures, and this is kind of a temporary enclosure, but when I get them in the breeding enclosure, which is of course quite a bit larger, I'm going to put a cork bark sheet that's kind of leaning at an angle, so they can hang from that as well as be on the walls. And they seem to like that. It seems to make them feel pretty secure. In a smaller enclosure like this, they don't seem to be as concerned about it as they would in a larger one. Who was it? It was, what's his name? Starts with a W. Gil Wisen, I think is his name. Yeah, Gil Wisen. Works with a lot of ambipygids, and he says if you get the enclosure small enough, you need to get it big enough so they can molt well. If you get it small enough so they feel enclosed, they can be comfortable without having to do that. But it's a nice way to do it. Oh yeah, definitely sub to Simply Better. She has a lot of fun stuff. Ooh, that kind of looked like an annoyed get out of my face rather than I want to eat you. I'm thinking. I've been trying to determine which one is which, but in my experience, that was a get out of my way, not a not a I want to eat you, and I missed. Maybe I should try that Theropod Hunter. My mom gave me some comfrey salve, I guess is the word for it, a salve that you put on it, which I have used and it helps, and I actually need to put another dose on today. I haven't done that yet, but it helps too. Some of those herbal things are pretty amazing. Oh, well, good luck with the infusoria cultures. I hope they work for you. They can be tricky. They work better when it's warmer. You're in... Are you in Idaho, Simply Better? Am I right? Because I remember sending Daphne to you a long time ago. But I don't remember if that's where you are now still. Is it still warm enough there for infusoria? Oh yeah, paramecia could work. I've fiddled around with paramecia a little bit, but the culture I got infested with rotifers, and that was the end of that. So suplex on the bridge. We will do some isopods still. We got a few more minutes. We got 15, 17 minutes or so to do some isopods. So this guy doesn't look like he's eating right now. He may or may not eat, but let me get some isopods out. Just a second. What species should we look at now? Somebody that looks like... Okay, yeah, let's just do this. This will be fun. We'll get something else out too. These are not the only isopods. I'm just grabbing a couple of cultures here until we move these. Oh, Droth, you got some Porcellia werneri. Those are awesome. Those are a fantastic isopod. I should show people, now that you mentioned it, what Porcellia werneri look like, right? Let me show you. I sold off some of my culture, but I still have them, and still got a decent number in there. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Porcellia werneri. These are fun. So let's get a good look at them. These are some of the most high contrast isopods ever. They're a Mediterranean species. I think most of them are found in Greece. They're often known as the Greek shield isopod. And as you can see, when they're babies, they're a more typical isopod shape, and their color is quite different from the adults. And as they get bigger, they get more dorsally flattened, and the contrast increases with size. Pancakes, that's awesome. Yeah, Flavomarginatus is very similar, not nearly as dorsally flattened, and they have some white markings in the middle of the dorsum as well, as opposed to these. Well, some of these do, and there's a morph of these that has a lot of lighter markings in the middle of the dorsum called silverback, but Flavomarginatus, the wild type, has those. At least the most common locality of Flavomarginatus does. There's another type of Flavomarginatus that looks totally different. So Melanie KM, I think these were producing when I got them. They were a mature colony when I got them. It wasn't like I got a 12 count or anything. Somebody brought the culture over to me as a full grown culture, and it has never stopped producing. You can see that there are little wee ones like that one in the middle of the screen right now, and then there's some that are a little bit bigger and some little bigger than that. They're just all sizes. Now a bunch of them have crawled over to the other side of the cork bark too, and there's some everywhere else. I mean, not everywhere else, but there are usually quite a few in the why can't I think of the word for egg crate right there. So yeah, it's a decent sized culture, so I never had to wait. It was immediate. So all right, I was going to show you something else. I want to show you the orange crush officinalis, because Droth was asking about them. Did I show those last time? Sometimes I lose track, but I do have a good colony of them, and now I'm showing you nothing on the screen, and I hate it when I do that. There they are. Woo! Gotta be careful with those bins. Here. Sorry, I never mean to show you the nothing. This is my orange crush here. I recently made a post of these on my... Ooh, sorry. Kicking the camera with my bad leg. It's just perfect storm there. Okay. That was nuts. These are the orange crush. Look at these beauties. They are very chunky. They get quite large. Much larger than most vulgare. Like, that's a big guy. And their shape is very distinctive. So these, trying to remember, I don't think it took very long for them to start reproducing. I think within a month or two they were reproducing. Looks like it's getting to the time. It's been a few months since I changed out the substrate, and you can see all this frass on the surface. So I've recently refreshed the leaves in here, but it looks like I need to refresh the substrate soon, because they do... Once that starts getting frassy, you want to start thinking about that. But they're really pretty. I love their color. Even though I think it's not like a really vibrant orange necessarily, it's a really cool color. And the way they change color as they grow, you see that the babies are one color and the adults are another color, and there's some variation in individuals, and it's just fun. So for 503, they took about 4 months or so, and they seem to be more seasonal. And that very well could be. It seems like different conditions will bring out different breeding habits and different preferences and so on. These are so... They tend to be quite shy. At nighttime, they're not very shy. In the daytime, they tend to be pretty shy and roll up and stay rolled up, although I've heard some people have colonies that just, if you open them up, they just stay rolled up forever and you don't see them unless you're at night. And for me, I think they're a little bolder than that, but they still are not nearly as bold during the day as they are at night. At night, you can do almost anything and they just seem, they'll just do their things. So your kid calls our Gestroy the nebula. Oh, I like that. That's appropriate because they look like they have little stars all over them. Yes. So I almost never change all the substrate at once if I can avoid it, because this stuff is microbiologically active, has springtails in it, as you can see. I think this one actually has silver springtails in it, which is a springtail species I never purchased. And they're a lot smaller than like the Cecobria. But you transfer, every time you do a substrate change, if you transfer some of this stuff over into the new enclosure with the new substrate, it's going to be beneficial in terms of microfauna and microorganisms, from fungi to beneficial bacteria, all that stuff. So, very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So, 503, so yours don't roll up a ton. Interesting. And mine, as you can see, some of them do, some of them don't. These two are definitely, they think conglobation is the bomb. So, what else was I pulling out here? Had some, I'm going to put this back over here and pull some other isopods out. We only have about 10 minutes left. I'm going to show you some fun isopods. That's Wernerei right there. Let's look at these. These are underrated, I think. Quite underrated. Look at this beauty right there. Just take a peek at that. See if anybody can tell me what that is. I'm sure many of you can. I'll just see who's first. That's how I want to. Laura Taylor. I wish I could ship old substrate. I can't. I'm not allowed to. My permits don't let me ship old substrate unless I sanitize it first, which of course that takes all the fun out of it. So close, but look at the shading on this one. Here we go. Now this is going to give it away. This is going to give it away. That one almost looked like an orange dairy cow almost, but not quite. Where's the one I was thinking about? Is that the one? This is my Cali mix bin. I love that they have so much variety. Now I'm scaring them all. The one problem is they're a little bit more shy than things like dairy cows or whatnot, but they're cool. They're a lot of fun. Got some more under there, yeah. Looking kind of frassy in there too. Teak, mahogany, and black Theropod. That sounds really cool. I would like to see those. So Frank did say California mix, didn't he? So California mix, even though it says mix, it is a locality that throws individuals of various colors, which is really fun, and patterns like this one. It's got the milkbacky sort of look to it, but it's got a kind of a different color to it. Some of them are basically pied, some of them are almost caramel, some of them are wild type, some of them are basically white. They're super fun. I have a bin of these on my desk at work, and it's a clear display, sort of like one of the acrylic display containers from like a big box store with some ventilation drilled in. Put them there, and at work I have ground up dried leaves, and I have some dog food and stuff and some calcium, and I'll just throw food in there, and while I'm working, if I need a second to like rest my eyes or whatever, I'll just look over there and watch them munching on it all. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty decent sized colony. You see how white some of them are. They're essentially just a beautiful white color. Here's a wild type looking one. Yeah, 503. I like how you said that. The Porcelio equivalent of Punta Cana. Very similar idea. Because they are a locality that throws polymorphic. You know, it's a polymorphic locality, so it throws different phenotypes, even though the genotype is, as far as we know, the genotype is consistent, but there must be some variation that causes this. There is some speculation that the phenotypic variation in Californimax is due to a non-lethal pathogen rather than to a genetic trait. But we don't really know. We need to do more testing on that. You can put fresh substrate on top. I know Oren mentions that as a method. I've topped off substrate before. Usually in and I've got a few tanks at my desk, including I have an Opaiula aquarium there. I have those isopods I'm talking about. A few different things. Look at this. This one is really interesting looking. And notice that the white ones have dark eyes. It's not like an albino. It's more like, looks more like leucistic form, but who knows what's really going on genetically there. And then these guys, which is not really a caramel and not really a milkbag, but it's somewhere in between. It's kind of fun. I like that. And suplex on the bridge. Good question. Not sure. Not sure what to tell you there. I think we need to do some more experimentation because I've heard people say, some people have said to me, well, when I have worked with Californimax, I've isolated, the whites out from it or the oranges out from it and been able to produce consistent phenotypes. And other people say, when I try to do that, it doesn't work for me. So I'm interested. If I ever get a chance, I would like to play with that a little bit more and see what I can find out. And both of the people that I've had people say that, and I, have respect for both of the people and their experience with isopods, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going on since they seem to be, it's contradictory information. I'm not going to, I can't really say which one is correct, or maybe they're both correct under different conditions or with different genetic stock, or, there's all kinds of things that could be going on. Let's take a look at these, shall we? Look at that individual on the left, in the top left quadrant of the screen. Had time to develop some nice yellow on it. I think you all know what these are, probably. This is the OG Magic Potion. This is pure stock directly from Kyle Candillian, the man who isolated them. Midnight Star, welcome. Glad you found the channel and glad you're enjoying it. Oh, Roach Crossing is here. I was just talking about Kyle and how these are pure stock from Kyle, and there he is from Roach Crossing. That's fantastic. Nice to see you here, Kyle. Your precious children, that's right. And these are doing really well. Kyle sent me some stock in November of last year, and I've split the colony, so this is just one of the colonies, and there's a good number in here. They're doing okay, and there's a lot in the other culture too. So they are slower growing for vulgare. They're a slower growing vocality, and they get bigger typically than a lot of them, and so I feel like the colony is doing pretty well because they tend to be slow growing and slow breeding, but I've got a good number of them. So I'm super happy to have these, and I'm taking a lot of pains to make sure they do not get contaminated. And I'm just loving how gorgeous they are. I can't get enough of how beautiful they are. They are my favorite Armadillidium vulgare for sure. I have decided that. And they're just doing their thing, doing pretty well. And look at this yellow, and this is why they're called Magic Potion, because Kyle worked on selectively breeding them for increased yellow coloration like that. And that is one of the many differences between these and the so-called Japanese Magic Potion, which should really be called Japanese Dalmatian. it was not selectively bred for increased yellow. Yeah, that's fun. Kyle popped in for a sec, and just happened to be when we're talking about the stock. Some of the stock that he sent me. Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. These are just so fun. Look at this yellow one down there too. These big adults with that beautiful yellow on them. But even the young ones have a lot of yellow. And as Kyle has mentioned, if you get some stock like this, you don't want to stop improving them for yellow. You still want to be selecting for yellow. That's kind of important. So let's see. So Aquarimax Pets, I'm still trying to work on that Pied Vulgare line, but I'm not getting much out of it. So far, I'm not seeing any Pied descendants, but you know, I'm still holding out some hope. And so Klugai come from various places, Suplex. We have a Montenegro locality. We have a Dubrovnik, Czech Republic, right? I believe that's in the Czech Republic locality. There are several different localities of Klugai. There's a Slano locality as well. Let's see. How often is it okay to bother them? Well, good question. You don't want to be constantly, you know, getting in there and digging in the substrate and stuff. That's not necessarily great. But if you open the enclosure several times a week and you pop some food in there and you handle one of them, you know, occasionally there's so many in there that if you handle one, even every day, and then you don't handle that one again and you handle a different one at a different time, I mean, I think you're fine if you have a nice big culture. So Yotaro, I have 3 true scorpions. I do. I've got 2 Asian forest scorpions and 1 desert hairy. That's what I've got. I just realized I've gone over time, so that's fun. I better. Yes, I agree, Kyle. That's the great point that Kyle's bringing up. Some pieds are heritable but not genetic. Many pieds are probably due to damage or pathogen. Piebald Scaber is one of the most consistent lines. Yeah, and I have some from Derek Niehaus, some of the orange pied, and those are doing well. But I wanted to show you, Kyle, if you got a second. I don't know if you've seen these, but I'm hoping these are genetic, but I don't know if they are. We've got some pied Porcellio dilatatus, and I have these in this enclosure temporarily. I'm going to move them into another enclosure and see if I can get them breeding, hopefully. But yeah, I'm not sure this is genetic, but I really hope it is, because that would be fun. All right, and we'll end with these pied Porcellio dilatatus. One of them even looks leucistic, so very cool. Anyway, I'd better go. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And yeah, I have my doubts that this is genetic, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. Always worth a try, like you say. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I really appreciate it. And keep your eyes peeled for the next video coming out on Friday and for the next live stream next week. Same time, same channel. Have a good one, everyone. Glad you joined in.